Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, today I'm going to show you the nebula. I didn't finish the background because I hurt my shoulder. Um, I'm just going to give myself a couple of days before I really work on a background. I did a little bit of it, but it's certainly not finished. The nebula part is about 99% finished. I have to add in a little white dots and little floaty things in it, but for the most part, you'll be able to see today how I did it. So here's where I'm up to on the nebula. You could see that the background is done. I have to add in some of the stars, and the background of the nebula is done. I still have to do the background of the picture. As I'm going to take you through how I did this, I want just to let you understand that my hands are probably not going to match up because I'm voicing over. Here I'm adding in the windows. I'm drawing them into the picture with some graphite pencils. That's a number 2. Normally, I would use a much lighter graphite, or it goes by hardness, and I would use a hard one so that I'd get a very light line. But I found that in the past it doesn't show up in video very well. So I did it a little heavier than I normally would do it. In the end, it worked out. It was fine. I had no problem. On the right-hand side where it's black, I had been testing some of the picture, the colors that I wanted for the picture. And now I'm adding my first layer, and I'm using a powder blue because I wanted a very light layer, and I wanted it to be blue because blue goes with black, and I'm going to use a lot of blue in this picture, mostly Aqua Marine. Here I'm using a very light cool gray, and I think that's the 20%. I probably overdid the colors in this picture because most of it got covered over in black. I also overblended, trying to make it perfect, but maybe that's how or why I really love this picture is I made sure everything was done properly. I've done them in the past. They've worked out where I didn't do as much blending because the background's going to be black. So if I'm coloring black over it, it really didn't make much of a difference. Here I'm adding cream. You could probably substitute cream for eggshell, but in this case, I picked up the cream pencil. The cream is going to give it a light background, even though I'm covering it later on. I at least know I've got some lights in there that I can play with my pencil values later. Uh, One of the tricks on this is to make sure that you have enough wax on there and covering everything because we're going to add ink onto the top of it and then wipe the ink off. Ink will not adhere to the paper the way it would if it was just ink on paper. It doesn't soak into the paper. So you do have a short amount of time that you can remove that ink. I'm going to demonstrate that a little bit at the end. Here I'm playing with some horizon lines. I ended up at the very end not using that horizon line. It just became part of the picture. The next color I'm adding in, that's Salmon Pink. And I'm adding that in so that the nebula has that color in its background. Having that color in its background plus the background that I'm doing will balance each other out and it'll make the globe seem even more see-through. The one effect I was able to achieve was a very glass-like appearance on the globe. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I did add in that pink, even though it doesn't play a predominant color, it's there. And remember, we're creating an illusion. Now I'm switching up to my Aquamarine. This is going to be a mainstay on the background. I'm going to blend the black into it. I'm going to cover it up. It's a very spacey nebula using pencil. So far we've got powder blue, salmon pink, and now cream. I love this blend right here is where I blended in the aquamarine with the cream, and it gives it a very blue, light blue, shiny uh, blue. Not something I've done really or remember doing ever before, so write this combo down. It definitely works. Okay, I'm just repeating some of the same steps with the cream pencil, and now I've started to add some black. I'm adding black in with the other color pencils because the ink doesn't stay in all places, and I do want black in the picture to create the space. So don't forget to use it. I even colored over it with the cream, and I don't normally, in most circumstances, do that. But in this circumstance, since I want the cream to shine through and brighten it, uh, it was okay for me to go over it with the go over the black pencil. So just keep in mind, cream has the yellow in it, black's black, cream added to black makes mud. So it's only to be used in very special occasions. And now I'm blending everything up with the powder blue, which will also give it a very bright neon type of look. I switched over to my Canary Yellow, and you could see that I'm going kind of next to the black. Later on, when I cover it up, this is one of the pivoting colors that come out when I put the ink over this. It also helps to brighten some of the other colors and adds green. I don't think I used a green pencil on this picture, but I did achieve the green because I had the blue. Here I'm using the hot pink, which is another nebula color. So our nebula colors are going to be the aquamarine, the powder blue, canary yellow, the hot pink or neon pink, whichever, aquamarine, and black. And here I'm adding Parma Violet. Um, the color in the nebulas that you see in space pictures that you Google, that's the color purple that um, shows up the best. And I'm just blending it in with my blues with my white. I keep adding colors and then coloring in between with the black. This is so that there are areas of my blacks that stay very black. It also helps to separate the colors. Once the ink is on, you won't have a rough blend in it. There'll be a buffer between the colors, and that's why I'm adding in a lot of black. Normally, in the case of adding black, it's almost 100% put a piece of paper down under your hand, black smears all over the place. But I can just hear you guys now screaming, I can't see the picture, which I get a lot of, and it's my bad, but sometimes you can't really help it. Somebody did suggest putting my lights on the other side, and I tried that, and I don't know why I didn't think of it myself. I got my shadows off the picture, and now you could see it better. See, you learn you learn something from YouTube every day, and that subscriber really helped me. I'm gonna reorganize my room so that I could permanently keep these lights on that side of the table. Right now, they're kind of just sticking out in the middle of my floor, and I can't, you know, work around that. It's just too, tight of a space. I do have a dedicated room just for my coloring. You want to call it a lady cage, you can cave it, you can call it a lady cave, um, but it's my space with my stuff in it. My husband has a cave also with his manly stuff in it, but I call that my living room. So I'm just doubling up on the colors, darkening in. It's basically more of the same, using a little bit of my eraser to uh, brighten up some things, some areas that may not have uh, gotten as bright. Sometimes the black mixes in, so it's easily taken away. Okay, here's where I added the color, the ink. I'm using a Copic marker. I had to work quickly, and unfortunately, a lot of this video part did not come out great. I don't know why, but you can see it's a little wonky. So once I did that, it's going to be a very split second. I'm going to take a cotton ball and I'm going to wipe it off. You can work in sections if you have to. Um, Wiping on, putting the black on, wiping it off until you get it in the areas that you like. And when it looks good to you, please stop. Don't overdo it. So here is the finished uh, ball. I can add in the gray. I don't want to ruin it. I like the way the ball looks. It came out very glass-like. So I think I'm going to leave it and I'll do another lesson. I'm sorry. I just, it's a lesson. I guess it's something for you guys to realize too. When you're done, make it done. Don't overdo it. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson on the Nebula colors. Just to review, it's hot pink, Parma Violet, cream, powder blue, canary yellow, what else? Black, white. You can add in a little bit of red. You don't have to really add in orange because if you put red near the yellow, you'll get a very pretty color, orange in it. The ink that I'm using is Copic markers. It may work with other magic markers, but that's the markers that I have. And I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.